Now to the news in detail. The members of the Jehovah's Witness says that they are not terrified by the daily reports of bad news in the world today, but instead, such bad news gives them a ray of hope that the end to human suffering is close at hand, which is based on their Bible beliefs. This forms part of the discussion at the 2024 Regional Convention of Jehovah's Witness held at the Ubogo Assembly Hall in Delta State, Nigeria. Our senior reporter, Best Orator, was there for BTV News.
It is always a refreshing time for members of Jehovah's Witnesses during the annual 3-day convention holding in different countries and states of the world. Here in Ubogo, Delta State, the witnesses converge for the 3-day convention with the theme, Declare the Good News. Brother Owobueromuse, a member of the Better family of Jehovah's Witnesses, delivered the public discourse, Why We Don't Fear Bad News. He said all over the world, people are filled by bad news, but that Jehovah's Witnesses are not surprised by the bad news all around because according to Luke 21:10 and 11, Jesus Christ already foretold that in the last days of this world, humans will hear bad news such as wars, earthquakes, pestilences, and food shortages which today abound in different parts of the world. He said Jehovah's Witnesses are not terrified because of the news due to their belief in what is recorded in several verses of Psalm 112, noting that those who enjoy good relationship with Jehovah and live according to his righteous standards will not need to be worried about frightening world events. He encouraged all to continue to trust in Jehovah, hope in him, and focus on the promised new world where righteousness will dwell. Just as he said that Jehovah will always make a way for his servants in difficult times, emphasizing the need for all to endeavor to store up treasures in heaven by actively using their time to declare Jehovah's message of hope to people of all sorts.
It is possible that, yes, you will not need to fear bad news. And if that will be true of you, then what do we need to do? Remember what we've just discussed in Psalm 112. Develop a good relationship with Jehovah. If you have not yet started studying the Bible with Jehovah's Witnesses, start now to study the Bible. Your diligent study of God's Word, the Bible, will help you come to know more about Jehovah, the source of every good news. And as you form a firm relationship with him, you will enjoy Jehovah's support. That if you do all of this and continue to build an unshakable trust in our God Jehovah, you will have no cause to fear bad news.
Earlier in a 6-part symposium with the team, Imitate Those Who Had Faith in the Good News, the speaker Emmanuel Elufidia spoke on the topic, Imitate Those Who Have Faith, Jesus. He said faith moved Jesus Christ not to allow Satan and the demons influence him. Hence, he was able to say at the end of his earthly ministry that he has conquered the world. He said when Jesus was at age 12, he was bold enough to ask religious leaders thought-provoking questions, adding that one of the things that helped Jesus to be faithful to Jehovah to the end is in line with what is recorded at Luke chapter 2 verse 51, which showed that Jesus was obedient to his parents despite their imperfection. And the second was his constant study of the Bible. Hence, he quoted from the Bible at different times. He said all that young ones need to combat the propaganda of Satan in today's world have been provided for in the Bible and other Bible-based publications.
People in Jerusalem and the religious leaders were in constant amazement at his understanding and his answers, which means that he was giving them scriptural responses to all their questions. So at age 12, Jesus already proved to himself what the will of Jehovah is, and he already made up his mind to obey his Father and carry out his will. Do you have your own personal schedule for personal study and Bible reading? If not, from this convention, set aside time to do your daily Bible reading and your own personal study. Figure out the truth for yourself. Make sure you understand what you believe and why you believe it.
The audience also followed through a dramatic reading of the book of Revelation chapter 18 of how Babylon the Great, the world empire of false religion, will be destroyed soon. The Bible drama also showed that very soon faithful humans will enjoy a paradise earth devoid of bad news. The concluding part of the 3-day convention, which had the title Hold Firmly to the Good News, Why and How, Brother Christopher Osondu said Christians must avoid bringing Jehovah's name to disrepute by avoiding living a double life. He said they must obey Jesus' command to preach and make disciples, and as well make it number one priority in their lives. Reading from 1 Corinthians 15:1 and 2, the speaker said it is important for Christians to hold firmly the good news by cherishing the good news now as much as when they first learned it, and by living in harmony with it every day of their life.
The self-sacrificing love Jesus has shown for us, our hearts compels us to want to love Jesus in return. And how do we show that we love Jesus? We do so by obeying him and following the pattern he set for us. For example, we obey Jesus' command to preach and make disciples, but we pattern our lives after him by making the preaching of the good news and teaching the truth to others our priority in life.
Some of the worshippers shared the gains of the convention.
Old and young people from different congregations of Jehovah's Witnesses have been gathered here in Ubogo Assembly Hall to benefit from the 3-day convention. Here with me is Brother Aaron Ikimi. He's been a Jehovah's Witness for the past 54 years. He's here to share with us his experience and, of course, the gains of this convention. Please, can you tell us what's your take home from this convention?
My take home from this convention is a deep understanding of certain scriptures and the scenario that Christ passed through in order to continue with the parents to be obedient. They passed through heavy terrains. Even when he was left in the temple, we find out the parents coming back through those same terrain in order to adhere to the directive, the direction of Jehovah that they should visit Jerusalem thrice in a year. And that has helped to embellish my spirituality in my Christian race.
I really benefited a lot, especially the aspect of Elizabeth and Zechariah. In spite of their challenges, they never missed Jehovah's worship.
I really learned a lot. But outstandingly is being able to watch the good news according to Jesus video. From when it was announced, I really look forward to watching it, and being able to watch it at this convention has really been thrilling. One person that stands out in the video I really enjoyed watching was Mary. Certainly, she wasn't expecting the change of assignment from Jehovah, but when it did come, she heartily accepted it.
I have really learned a lot from this convention. Like one of the examples I really benefit from is the example of Jesus. When he was preaching to the Pharisees, he did not ask them a question like, who is God, created the earth? Rather, he asked them deep questions. So I want to do much research.
This convention has really helped me to deepen my appreciation of that prophecy at Genesis 3:15, where Jehovah promised an offspring that will crush the head of the serpent. And that is good news. And this convention theme centers around that good news, where Jesus Christ comes and brings to an end all the works of the devil.
I've learned the source of the good news, Jesus Christ coming. And now I also learned like the point for them to be able to trace it, like from Luke. Luke took time to trace everything. That really touched me, the effort he went to do this. Another thing that was really thrilling was the number of people that have submitted themselves to become baptized. It was so interesting to see a large crowd of people getting baptized. That was really touching.
43 persons symbolized their dedication to God through water baptism, as family members and other friends who waited anxiously after their baptism received them with a warm embrace.
One of the highlights of the 3-day Declare the Good News convention was a talk that encouraged the attendees to strengthen their faith in Jehovah by regularly reading the Bible, prayers, and imitating the faith of biblical examples such as Jesus, Joseph, Simeon and Anna, Zechariah, Mary, Elizabeth, and others who, despite a strong opposition, stood firm and maintained their faith in Jehovah. They were also encouraged to redouble their efforts in declaring the kingdom message to others. From Ubogo in Delta State, Nigeria, Best Orator reporting for BTV News.